Namaste or Sitaram. Swagatam. A most warm and cordial welcome. As we sit this evening in celebration of life, in celebration of the time that we spend in this world, in recognition of the significance of being born in a human body, whence we could have been in so many other species. By the gift of God, we have been blessed to be inhabiting the highest of all forms, the human form. What we do with this form and how we treat with it, of course, it's of paramount importance and significance. This evening as we celebrate, let me make sure my glasses seem correct. It's kind of hiding inside a little bit, but we are celebrating with this young lady. Young still, and we still young. Yeah. All that there is to celebrate in life doesn't matter how long you live in this world. How well you live in this world is more important. Sometimes we forget that we are often reminded of this when we go to a funeral ceremony, and they'll give you this pamphlet as you're walking in, and you'll see sunrise and they'll give you some date. You'll see sunset and they'll give you another date. But there's a little dash in between there. And I got this, I remember Pundit talking about this at a funeral recently. And it's so fitting that everybody focuses on the sunrise and the sunset because it takes up a lot of space. But what is of more and greater importance is the little dash in between there. It takes up the least amount of space, but it is the most significant thing. It's not when we come into this world, and it's not when we leave this world. You see that little dash is your life. What you do with the time that is given to you in this world is more important than when you come and when you leave. And of course, this is coming close to the end of the year where there's a different type of festivities taking place. But we are here in a mandir, choosing to celebrate in a different form. So as we begin this evening's exercises, of course, I knew it would have started already. The musicians and them, somewhere along the way, I don't know the rain giving them a little trouble or what, but they're coming. Everybody were busy this morning trying to get a location and make sure that we're here on time, but down on our side, it's a little rough. So they'll be here in a little bit. Whilst they're here, and I have your undivided attention. Most times in Satsangh, everybody gets carried away with the music and things song and good and clap and dance and everything, and nobody had time to hear what he wanted to say at all. So, before we get carried away by the music, because when these boys come and they start here, nobody had time to hear anything I say again. They usually the star of the show, not me. I have your undivided attention for a few moments where I can leave with you something of significance that may be able to impact the quality of your life. Not the quantity, but the quality of your life. How do we measure the quality of our life? And that is what we will spend a few moments talking about. And as we begin, I invite you now to focus your thoughts. Any one of these beautiful murtis that you see there, that you hold near and dear to your heart, you don't need to look at me, you look at the real stars there. And whichever one of them that resonates with you in your mind and in your heart. If you can't close your eyes and focus on it, then you look at them and you talk to them. Oh. वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे काम रूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। आपदामपहर्तारं दातराम सर्वसम्पदं लोकवीरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुलं यते गिरिं यत्कृपात्तमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधव। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। शरणम शंकर हरि ओम। वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। प्रेम से कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय। See the power of prayer. All we did was chant some mantras and the real stars of the evening have arrived. That's the power of prayer, my dear friends. So I thought I had a few moments with you, but I still do. I have to give them a few moments to settle up a little bit. What will I be telling you tonight? See, there is something, 3 words we're going to focus on tonight, and that is 3 words that we were discussing. See, my father is there, a little bit shorter, so you will miss him a little bit, right? So he's there, mommy is there, Jamie is there, auntie, them next mother in the back there. Well, a younger brother here will be lucky with his game, so he's here today. Avi, Durgesh, see, look at next, Avinash is here. So, and then we have a couple of them coming from north somewhere. Hopefully they'll reach on time. So on a good day, this stage a little too small. And usually it's a lot of young people. Huh? So I'm lucky to have all of these young, vibrant, highly qualified individuals who would come, despite the weather, to be able to join us in Satsangh. This evening, as we celebrate life, I want you to focus on 3 words. Daivik, Daihik and Atmik. You would normally hear those terminologies as Adi Atmik, Adi Daivik, Adi Bautik. What is it really? And how does it impact on our lives? Daihik, Daivik and Atmik finds its way in Balkan of Ramayana. Bhagwan Rama is in, of course, he's in the forest, quite comfortably enjoying his time in the forest. Bharat together, his brother, together with the whole entourage, all of the ministers, his mothers, all of them are journeying. The entire Ayodhyapur, they are going in search of this Lord, Rama, with the intention and the hope to return him to the palace. But during that journey, every single one of them, with the exception of Bharat, would have been affected or afflicted, if you want to use that word, by these 3 causalities, if you want to use that word. Causalities meaning these 3 terminologies that I gave you, Daihik, Daivik and Atmik, refers to effects that or challenges that a human being will have to go through in this life, during the course of his life. Some things we have control over, Some things we have no control over. But as we try to find what they mean and how it affects and impacts on our life, we'll see in a little bit. One refers to a challenge that every one of us, including myself, I'm not exempted from any challenge at all. Not because I'm sitting here means that I am above any challenge or I don't have any problems or I will not have to face any problems. Anybody who sits where I'm sitting here and tell you they don't have no problem at all, you run away far from that fella. Because sometimes the one who's sitting here have more problem than you. I just find a nice way to cover it up and smile and everybody feel well, we good to go, right? See, if you have the disposition like Bhaiya Raj, see now we have Bara Raj sitting here and Chota Raj sitting there. He has the right disposition. I don't think he have any problem at all. There is no time he doesn't have a smile on his face. Always happy. So even if he does have problems, he will hide that really well. You'll never know. But he's always very, very happy. He's somebody whom when you speak to, you can't help but connect with that energy, and you're also very happy. Very, very magnanimous person. And if you talk to Pundit Dave, so my younger brother who's sitting right there, he's always quiet. You have to beg him to say something sometimes. And most he'll do is just say one mantra for you and then he's gone. But the kind of talent that he has, you will not believe. He's the only one that I know could do everything from the decorating to the cooking to the puja, and if you give him a chance, he come and sit down and do what I doing too better than me. So you'll be surprised, and he's sitting there quite calm, and the way he hiding inside there, you will feel he's just a normal member of the group like that. No. But he's there. Wide spectrum of individuals here, from Barkpo to Princestown to Tabakit, Flanagan Town. This Penal Devi, they won't believe this group. And of course we have adopted Raj in this group, right? So he's coming from Freeport. So the group is a kind of all over. And then we still have the boys from Akbar Trace to Reach, right? So this group is a kind of pretty expansive group. We come from all parts. And we come together for one purpose and one purpose only. And what is that purpose? Just to glorify with you and share with you in these beautiful moments of chanting the Lord's name. So, three things. One, are effects that we will have to go through as a result of the Atmic, our mind and our body. The Atman and the mind will have to experience those challenges. There are challenges that are from a divine force out of this world. And then there are external factors that affect and impact on our lives from an environmental perspective that we have no control over. How do they impact on our lives, and how can we recognize or identify them when they come, and what do we do about them, if we can do anything at all? We'll see. Om Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om Om Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om Om Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om Om Hari Om Hari Om Hari Brahma Shiva Hari Om Brahma Shiva Hari Om Vishnu Shiva Hari Om Vishnu Shiva Hari Om Brahma Shiva Hari Om Brahma Shiva Hari Om Vishnu Shiva Hari Om Vishnu Shiva Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om Jai 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 Shiva Hari Om Hari Om, Hari Om. Jai Shiva Hari Om. Hari Om, Hari Om, Jai Shiva Hari Om. Hari Om, Hari Om, Jai Shiva Hari Om. Hari Om, Hari Om, Jai Shiva Hari Om. Govinda, Govinda, Bhajo Radhe Govinda. Gopala, Gopala, Bhajo Krishna Mukunda. Govinda, Govinda, Bhajo Radhe Govinda. Gopala, Gopala, Bhajo Radhe Govinda. Govinda, Govinda, Bhajo Radhe Govinda. Gopala, Gopala, Bhajo Krishna Mukunda. Govinda, Govinda, Bhajo Radhe Govinda. Gopala, Gopala, Bhajo Krishna Mukunda. Govinda, Govinda, Bhajo Radhe Govinda. Gopala, Gopala, Bhajo Krishna Mukunda. Govinda, Govinda, Bhajo Radhe Govinda. Gopala, Gopala, Bhajo Krishna Mukunda. Govinda, Govinda, Bhajo Radhe Govinda. Gopala, Gopala, Bhajo Krishna Mukunda. Govinda, Govinda, Bhajo Radhe Govinda. Gopala, Gopala, Bhajo Krishna Mukunda. Govinda, Govinda, Bhajo Radhe Govinda. Gopala, Gopala, Bhajo Krishna
in this life, we experience the ebbs and flow, meaning the ups and downs. Nothing lasts forever. While we are celebrating here, there is a real possibility that there are going to be some individuals in this same country who are experiencing the devastating effects of all of the rain that we are having from yesterday until today, and maybe tomorrow. And while we are laughing and we are celebrating and we are joyful today, maybe tomorrow we will be crying. We don't know. No one knows what tomorrow has. What we do know is we have now. When tomorrow comes, we'll treat with tomorrow. But you know what? We'll deal with now. Don't think about tomorrow because it doesn't exist. Forget about the past because there's nothing that you can do to change it. But you know what? Where you are right now, what you can do right now is make a difference in your life. What does that mean? Who you are today, what you are today, is a sum totality of all of your life's experiences thus far that has brought you where you are today. There's nothing that you can do about that. Your life's experiences and your challenges and all of those things impact your thinking, your thoughts, your words, your actions, and you are who you are today. You can't do anything about that. Your past karmas have put you in circumstances and places that causes you to effect a change in your thinking and your actions, and you are where you are today. The choices that you make today, the actions that you perform, the thoughts that you entertain, the words that you speak, all of those things that are happening today affects your life down the road. What's going to happen to you in the short-term future, the medium-term future, and maybe paralok when you come. Sanchit karma. So what does Bhagavan say? Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about the future. You live in the moment, here and now. See what I just told you? That's past. I can't change that. I've already told you that. So quickly, present becomes past. So this thing called future and tomorrow don't really exist. It's a proposition. So we have the hik. The hik or adhyatmic, meaning the mind and the soul. The mind and the body. There are some challenges that we will go through in this life that comes to us in the form of the mind and comes to us in the form of the body. Those challenges known as adhyatmic or daihik are challenges that you will experience in your life because of your choices. What you choose to consume, what you choose to focus your thoughts on, what you choose to discuss impacts your mind. Therefore, there are certain foods that are prescribed in order to manage the mind. You see, most people say I'm fasting, you know. But what do they really mean when they say they're fasting, Baba? Tell me now. They really fasting or they just abstaining? But there's a difference. What does it mean to fast? To stay away from certain things, right? But 99.9% of the individuals, when they tell you that they are fasting, they simply just not eating and drinking certain things. But that is not fasting. That is just simply abstaining. The purpose of fasting in its truest form is to execute something called Chitta Shuddhi, Chit Ekagrata, purity of mind and oneness of mind. How do you do that? You do that by managing the flow of thoughts and controlling the mind. But how do you control the mind? See, that's not so easy to do. Song easy, adhyatmic, daihik, the mind. How do you control the mind? You know what people I know fasting and quarreling every single day? Is that fasting or not fasting? That not fasting. To control the mind, you have to control that which empowers the mind. What empowers the mind? So to be able to tell you that, I need to explain how this body is designed, how this vessel, this vehicle that we're in, how it's designed. There is the gross body, the physical structure. A little bit above the physical structure, the senses. A little bit above that is the mind. A little bit above that is the intellect, then ego, and then the Atman. So you understand? Atman, ego, intellect, mind, senses, and body. And you want to control that fella called the mind? You can't control that mind. What you need to do is starve the mind. How do you starve the mind? The senses feed and fuel the mind. What your senses engage in this world is what goes into the mind and affects the mind one way or the other. Therefore, you subdue the senses and then you can control the mind. How do you do that? Well, easiest thing to do is to manage what you eat. Because the food that you consume, based on what you put in the food, it can heighten your senses and that will affect your mind. Therefore, our scriptures tell us you eat sattvic food only. What is sattvic food? See, every time I tell you something, there's always a question, right? And I know you're going to ask me a question, so I'm going to try to answer the question before you ask me. So you stay away from all tamasic food. We know what is tamasic food, right? But what is rajasic food? Rajasic food is what fuels the mind and affects the mind. So, when they tell you fast, you know, say, God, them they're trying to kill me, but I can't eat no salt and no pepper, no onion and no garlic and all kind of thing. Listen, some of the best food you will ever eat and have no onion and garlic and thing in it, and you won't even know you don't have. You won't even know that thing tastes so good. Listen. You go to the market on a Thursday. The first 3 days you just get the food. The first 3 days in the Thursday in the month you get the food free, and you just only pay for the last one. That is one of the best food you'll ever eat. On a Thursday you go, right? You know where the food is come from? Oh. You just watch behind Raj and you see a fella there. I'm telling you, we have this conception or this misconception that you have to load up the food with all kind of things. But what you're doing is doing yourself harm. So much so that Rajasic food have been introduced into the Mahanbhog. So instead of Mahanbhog, what do you get? They put in all kind of ginger and lychee and all different kind of thing inside there, and cherry, and the only thing they put mango takari in it yet, but you get any and everything inside of the Mahanbhog. And I don't know what don't have prasadam anymore. You get dessert though, it tastes real good. But it's not sattvic bhojan. You have to remove the rajasic food from inside there for it to become sattvic pure. Because you are trying to control the mind, and if you are fueling the mind, you can't control it. How do you do that? I told you, you need to starve the mind by controlling the senses. Where you go, what you look at, what you listen to. So you have to, if you're fasting, you cannot be on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and everything. If you're fasting, you have to give up Coke and Sprite and all of those kind of things, right? And snacks. All you could do that, children. You have to give up your phone. The first thing you have to give up when you're fasting is your phone. You think you could do that? Don't worry, there are people who senior to you by plenty who as they wake up in the morning, the first thing they're checking is phone, you know. You go to sleep, the last thing you do before you go to sleep, so you watch and check your phone. As you wake up in the morning, you check the phone. Can't function without our phone. So, not eating meat and drinking alcohol, you think is fasting, right? The phone have you more addicted than anything else. You have to give up that thing. How you do that? To control the mind. So things that affect, because sometimes the thing that you see on that phone can affect your mental stability and can cause you anxiety and stress, and it affects the quality of your life, and that's a choice. You have control over that. You can fix that. The next two I ain't too sure, but we'll see just now. Because see, we like to believe in all kind of thing, right? As something happen, oh God, let me tell you something here tonight, right? If you're lighting that day, and for some reason the Taria only shifts so, or the day fall, oh God, on earth, some kind of problem. And we like to believe that, right? But if the current only gone, all right, man, check 10 and take a put on this now. One little light there gone out and you start a panic and all kind of thing. But when the whole, all the current gone out, nobody are panicking. You have no unearth in that and you have no bad omen in that and all kind of thing, right? But one day, you see how it is like to believe in all kind of tribal thinking and something always happen and somebody always do you something and all kind of thing. That is your mind playing tricks on you. If you cannot control that mind, you're in problems. Everything happening in your mind and nowhere else. Lakshman tells Guha, everything you could see, everything you could hear, everything you could think about. Well done. Maya krit paramarth nahi. That thing happening only in your mind only. But we like to make, the human being like to make up our meaning behind everything, you know. Don't talk about people who like to dream. Oh yes. Everything they dream has to have a meaning, you know. Otherwise. Baba is an expert by now in interpreting dream. If they used to only pay for that, I'm telling you, we'd be real rich by now. Sri Radhe Gopal No Bhajuman Sri Radhe
Sri Radhe Gopal 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 Bhajuman Sri Radhe
Sri Radhe Jai Jai Radhe Sri Radhe Jai Jai Radhe Sri Radhe Gopal Bhajuman Sri Radhe
Sri Radhe Gopal Bhajuman Sri Radhe
Sri Radhe Gopal Bhajuman Sri Radhe
Sri Radhe Gopal Bhajuman Sri Radhe
Sri Radhe Gopal Bhajuman Sri Radhe
Sri Radhe Gopal Bhajuman Sri Radhe
Sri Radhe Kriya, what are you going to do? He still asks. Having acquired all of this knowledge, at the end of the day, question is always this: what are you going to do with your life when you wake up tomorrow morning? Irrespective of whatever I have said or not, what are you going to do with your life? Because at the end of the day, it is your life. You are in control of your life. There are certain factors that are beyond you, which is the environmental factors that you can't do anything about. But it's your life. You make the choices. And my guru used to say, easy choices, easy consequences. Easy choices, easy consequences. When you wake up in the morning, there are always going to be two ways. There's the easy way and there's the not so easy way. You have to decide. Two choices are hard. There's hard and there's hard. When you fall, that's a hard thing. To get up is also a hard thing. To sacrifice in this life to have something better, that's also a hard thing. To do nothing is also a hard thing. You decide which one of the hard you want to do. You want to do the hard that builds something and you have a better future, or you want to do the hard that don't have no value in it. But both of them are hard choices. You have to make the choice at the end of the day. Nobody is going to make that choice for you. And of course, there's the third one. What is that third one? There are some divine forces that impact on our lives. If you're accustomed doing puja and thing, part of the Bedi puja system is one called Graha Puja. Because We are all affected by these grahas, and they will challenge us. There are certain things in life that you have no choice. You have to experience. You can't get away from it. You have to experience it. Because it's our karma. Whatever Bhagwan has written for you, that might be able to change, right? But you see what you write with your own pen? When you see things, when you read things that you're not sure about, right? And you make proposition and you say, I see this and I do that and this person do that and the next person do that. See, now that's karma you're writing with your own hand, you know. And you have no evidence of that, but you sure this one doing that and that one doing that and the next one doing that. See, that's karma that you're writing with your own hand. Not even God could wipe out that. Not even God. Because that's a choice that you make. You and I, when we live this life. We choose to believe positive or we choose to believe negative. The mind gravitates in the world that we live in. Oh, negativity sells, man. Anybody gonna sit down and watch news if you don't have all this? They prefer to watch Ian Allen than to watch news, right? Because now a little more entertaining. We prefer to pick up the paper and read something negative than to read something positive because that's a little bit more entertaining. Something positive, a little bit boring, what are you going to do with that? That don't sell. So for the media, they will propagate that because that is what sells, because that's what people want to listen to. But we need a different kind of strength when you have to deal with problems that you have no control over. There are two types of problems in this world. There's one that you could do something about, and there's one that you could do nothing about. So, you know, I'm saying teacher, Miss there. We know her as Miss, right? Once in that profession, you'll always be known as Miss. She was a foundation member in the temple where I grew up in by my guru there. And he used to say something as well. Those who find faults usually have the most faults. Because what you see in this world is a reflection of what's in your mind. So if anything you see in this world is some kind of problem, think that because you're a problem person. So that all you will see. The world is a reflection of what's in your mind. So if in your mind you want to believe in all kind of this one doing that and that one doing that and some kind of thing and you know, and then what does that say about the state of your consciousness and your mind? I know he don't believe in them kind of thing, right? He didn't have time with that, you know. He believes in this higher philosophy, and if you are Satsanghi and in Satsang, what you worry about granting for? But if you're not part of that, then what? So we have a choice. Two types of challenges that there are always going to be two types of challenges. One is a fixable one, and one is a non-fixable one. So, for those of you who have vehicle and thing, right? When you go by the mechanic, something wrong with the vehicle and you're sure by the mechanic, and you say, boy, listen, you see this thing here? Don't worry yourself, that could fix. We just need to change some plugs and a little one, two thing, and maybe a little seal and thing, and you're okay. You're gonna be good. When you go home and you leave the car by the mechanic, what happens? Are you still taking on the worries or not? Most times you taking on the worries, right? The mechanic just tell you, don't worry yourself. We go sort out this thing and by tomorrow you're driving again. But when you go home, you can't sleep. You studying all kind of about the car. But that thing is any fixable? So if it's fixable, why are you worrying? But that's just the nature of the mind, huh? You go worry, right? And you know when you just worry a little more? When it's not fixable, you say, boy, you have to change your engine, you know. Then nobody want to hear that when they reach by the mechanic, you know, how to change it, how to fix it, how to change this, take out this whole engine and the whole transmission and all kind of thing. Sometimes it's cheaper to change the transmission than to change the parts inside there. But in two cases, one, it's fixable, so why are you worrying? We'll fix it. Just take a little time, but it'll fix, right? Second kind of problem is not fixable. What are you going to do? If it's not fixable, then why else are you worrying? If you worry and you cry whole day, the problem will fix or not? It's not fixable. So why are you stressing for? No matter what I said, you still gonna stress? You will still stress. But Bhagavan says there are two types of problems. One is fixable and one is non-fixable. In either case, don't worry and don't stress, because if it's fixable, it will fix. And if it's not fixable, well, what are you going to do about it? No amount of worrying will not fix it. It's still not fixable. So what are you doing? A state of mind. It requires a change of our thinking. And we live in this world in a tribal kind of thinking. Because we have all of these beliefs. God, and when you see people dead, well, I'm not telling you, we don't have all kind of thing with that. This one dead in a bad time, and that one dead, so on, had to check the book and all kind of thing, and if you do this, and if you do that, and they didn't do this funeral good, the next one dead, so on, come on, next one, let me tell you, two things is a real problem, right? When you see somebody getting married, well, you have all kind of thing, you have to go here, and you have to dig the dot, so on, you can go back standpipe, so on, all kind of, and then they tell you, you shouldn't have married that day, watch you break up and all kind of thing. 50% of all the people married in the States never do nothing and them divorcing. So we're about. So them should have go Matiko and all kind of thing and they should have married on this day and that day and the next day. So where is that? And he has some people who run away and never do nothing and them live real good. Better than the people who gone through all them kind of thing. So how that thing working out there now? Which one correct and which one wrong? You tell me, I don't know. Because I tell you, we always like to put some kind of belief, and anytime something ain't going the way, the mind cannot rationalize. When the mind, see, this boy was asking me this question only last night. Once the mind cannot rationalize something, it will, and usually it don't put a positive meaning on it, it's always something negative. At no point in time when we can't rationalize something, it's something positive. It's always something negative. It's something to carry you deep in a hole. It's always something to worry about. And this one go there, and that one go there, and the next one go there, and then your house go break up. And if the house had to break up, you go break up. We can't do nothing about that. It has something called karma, isn't it? Otherwise, what is the point of having prarabdha, sanchita, agami karma? Better we wipe out our word because that don't exist. That don't have no place. If you married and this day and that would happen, this one happen. Whatever life circumstance is to be, it will be. The choices you make today is going to affect nothing tomorrow. Whether you make the choice or didn't make the choice, it's gonna. Why we like to believe in all of this foolishness? Think about it, Avinash. The mind usually. How many times do you know when something happens to people, their mind actually goes somewhere positive and say, well, he was owing something, so Bhagwan said, time for me to pay. Anybody want to think that? No, the neighbor do me something and that one do me something. But listen, I glad when they say that, Baba and I go get a little walk, we go get a little dachina thing. What I go tell you? No, because nobody want to hear me when I tell you, listen, just do a little job and light a little diya, say a little prayers and everything will be right. That Pundit, know what you're talking about, man. See, a long time is so. They may know what they're talking about. Okay, no problem. When they go my next one and say, listen, you bring up $5,000 and you go bring this a panagiu and this and that and see if you go get a black rooster and so day, so time. You go bring that with a bottle of Forest Park and 1 liter and we will fix up this business here for you. Everybody want that the best man, boy. Listen, them fellas have more business than we know. You know why? Because the mind, the human being's mind always want to go somewhere there. Somebody always doing something. Listen, I don't see nothing happen to the people in Japan, nothing happen to the people in China, they are doing no puja. In China, when you go, have two kind of people. That I believe in Buddha or do believe in no God. And then people, the most prosperous people, them doing well. Well, don't talk about when you go in the United States. And them going good, and they're making millions. So, what puja them doing? See, our mind is our greatest friend, and it is our worst enemy. Don't feel everybody here sitting down tonight agreeing with me, So I want to say, don't bring back that money, because you know what we're talking about. Because the mind wants to believe something, it wants to hold on to something, because if we can't hold on to something tangible, then we can't function. But you have to allow yourself the ability to float in the wind, as it were. You have to give up. You cannot want to sit where I am sitting and still want to sit on where you're sitting there. It don't work like that. If you put 1 footstep on the carpet there and you put 1 footstep on top of this treader here, when you go reach by me? You have to give up there. You can't want to have 1 foot there and 1 foot here. You'll never reach here. So if you want to elevate, the purpose of our rituals is designed to make you spiritual. It's designed to help you elevate from one stage in your life to something higher. But in order to do that, you have to leave out certain things. You have to remember, long time, the people didn't have tile. So the only thing you could have make a baby with is dot. What else they go use? They didn't have PVC and they didn't have iron pipe and all kind of thing. So the only thing you could put up the flag on is a bamboo. Where you could put it up on again? It didn't have anything else. What are the options they had? Every time somebody want to compare with, they used to do so long time and that's how it used to do. Show me. Well, listen. And worse if I ask them which bookie market, well, they want to lick me up too, That's how it used to be. No problem. Now you tell me. I want you to tell me all the options that were available, and according to the book of all of these options, that we are supposed to do. The book said that because this one I go down, that one. And if you can't show me that, then it means the people didn't have an option. Why you think people experiencing flood in the Southland? Why? Because long ago, how far you go tote water from? You have to build your house close to the water source. Otherwise, you go spend 24 hours a day toting water when you go do anything else in your life. So if you're close enough to the water source, you have access to water. And that thing logical or not logical? So you can't come 108 years now and tell me they're building the lagoon. People had to build. That is what was available then. That is the access that they had, and that's the choice that they will make. Because the same book we read and say, when it's the time for Ganesh jug, you have to get a fig tree 8 feet long, right? And you have to make the bedi with that. You have to put fig tree, the stem of the fig tree, and you make the bedi with that. I don't see nobody doing that. Anybody gonna put fig tree and make bedi and think you have to do any puja? But they go throw you out, they go say, what nice tile we put and fix up the place, and then you want to bring fig tree here to do puja? What's wrong with you? Something wrong with you? And that's the first thing they'll say, I crazy, right? Nah, see now. Always ask yourself, when the scripture was written, in which time it was written, in which language it was written, how the people used to communicate then, how they understood things then, and ask yourself if we are still there or if we have advanced. Do we understand things differently? Have we evolved at all? And if you can't bridge that gap, if you cannot understand this very simple basic philosophy like that, how are you going to understand anything else? And that's a very difficult thing, especially for the older generation, because you see them kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. That is how it was and that is how it had to be. Otherwise, if they only Lego, they have no existence and no purpose. So they can't afford to Lego, because if they only Lego, well, what we go do now with we life? July, how a whole day? You have to have purpose in your life. So if they don't hold on to that, they do, they become irrelevant. But we don't understand. Sometimes when we hold on to that, we become irrelevant, because the generation that exists now is not what was then. We have to learn how to mold ourselves, how to advance ourselves and still become relevant by keeping our mind in focus and in check. The biggest problem any one of us will ever face is in our mind. No other place. No other place. We'll have physical health problems. Who wouldn't have that? Some, remember, sickness, disease, old age, and death is an excuse for us to leave this world. We didn't come to turn stone, so we will have to leave. That's the reality, and something will have to carry us. You could be the healthiest person, doing the most amount of exercise, eating the best that you could, but that don't guarantee that you'll stay. You still have to go. So what? We have to go. And if you have to go, something have to carry you. So, old age, sickness, death, disease, something will carry you. It's just an excuse to leave. Because the greater journey is in the hereafter. That's what it is. What do? We don't focus on that. We focus on living our life today to the best of our ability. Making the best choices that we can for the best outcome that we want for our lives. And for those, of course, that we impact upon. That's all that we can do. Don't worry about anybody else and anything. You can only do the best that you can do. Correct, Devabs? You can't do anything other than that. You can only do the best that you can do. What else are you going to do? Other than your best. He will take care of the rest. Isn't it? You do your best and they will take care of the rest. But you have to think like that, isn't it? If you don't think like that, what's going to happen? Not going to happen. And if you don't allow them and you feel you know everything and them have to take all the rest because you have to dictate how them... No. Listen. God never needed us. He never will need us. At no point in time. Without us, he still exists. Without him, we are nothing. So allow him to take charge and things will go well. Try to stay positive and try to think positive. In all of the challenges that you will face, stay positive. It's not easy to do. It's not easy because this life could really beat you up, and it could really stress you out. And today, we have a new disease called anxiety. All of a sudden, everybody have anxiety. I don't know what is that. Everything is anxiety, anxiety, anxiety. It had time for anxiety long time. When you had to go and cut cane, come back and you had to milk about 20 cow, go and cut grass and see and fix out. You had time for no anxiety. You work from today, meeting it till tomorrow. The amount of work you have, you can't finish it in one day. You don't have time to get depressed and anxiety, you know, kind of thing. Now we don't have enough work. That's why people have free time to get anxiety and depression and all kind of thing. Because they sit down whole day and minding people business on the Facebook. So, see now? So you're not, because it's, you know why? When you're minding the people business here, so, not half of that thing they lie, that's not true, Them showing you what they feel you want to see. This is what my life should be. So they put up something here. And when you watch them and you compare them to my life, boy, look how them enjoying their life. Boy, that time they snap a picture and some calendar somewhere, put down, say, they go on a holiday here. Say, wait, man, I real suffering by working hard. I can't do nothing. I can't go nowhere. Okay. Nothing, a whole set of lie. That's not true. And you stressing out yourself. Oh, God, what problem I face? You bring that on yourself. If you stop watching that, you don't have no problem, you know. You'll have no problem. But of course, you have to give that a little rest. Because it's only happening here only. So we are the biggest cause of our own problems. And Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Udharit atma na atmanam avasadayet. Atmaiva ripuratmano bandhur atma ripuratmanaha. You are your best friend and you are your worst enemy. You lift yourself by yourself and you lower yourself by yourself. You are your own best friend and you are your own worst enemy. The thoughts you entertain, the words you speak, the actions you perform will either, the company that you keep will either elevate you or it can reduce you. But it's a choice that you'll have to make. I can't make that choice for you. I can tell you everything here tonight. But when you see, you step into the they didn't give me permission to say the number, so I can't say anything, right? I don't know if there's a top secret or what, you know. But according to the scriptures, I think half gone, so you're into the second half now. Grihast finished with Vanapras now, no, semi-retired. You have to take up a kind of sad wine kind of role now. I don't know if you're ready for that yet. That is what is prescribed in our scripture. So as you transition now into your new life, it's a new page, it's a new opportunity. How you live, the choices you make sure that it affects your life in a positive way. Because the quality of your life is important, more important than the quantity. Your happiness index, whatever decision you make, if you're not happy, then what are you doing? We are working hard. We are trying to build, we are trying to grow something, you're trying to create something and leave something for your children. But at the end of the day, whatever you do, it's about you being happy. And if you're not happy, then you're miserable all the time, then something wrong. We have to check back and see we're not doing something correct. Happiness is important. The quality of your life is determined by how happy you are. And if you're miserable every day, well, we know, think bad. But I'll tell you something, when you're in satsang, you don't have opportunity to be unhappy at all. Once you're in satsang and you're unhappy, something wrong. Best happiness you'll get here. The scriptures tell us in Ramayana, Bhagavan Ram is telling in Navda Bhakti, he's telling one moment in satsang is equal to a lifetime in Swarga. So every moment, that is if you're here mentally, if you're only here in body, well, you don't go get that happiness, right? But you have to be here in totality. प्रभु रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंत आंजनेय
प्रभु रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंत आंजनेय
हनुमंत 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 आंजनेय
हनुमंत 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 आंजनेय
प्रभु रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंत आंजनेय।
प्रभु रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंत आंजनेय।
ओ प्रभु रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंत आंजनेय।
प्रभु रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंत आंजनेय।
ओ हनुमंत 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 आंजनेय।
हनुमंत 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 आंजनेय।
ओ हनुमंत 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 आंजनेय।
हनुमंत 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 आंजनेय।
ओ प्रभु रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंत आंजनेय।
प्रभु रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंत आंजनेय।
हे पवन पुत्र हनुमंत भल भीमा आंजनेय।
पवन पुत्र हनुमंत बल भीमा आंजनेय।
हे पवन पुत्र हनुमंत भल भीमा आंजनेय।
पवन पुत्र हनुमंत हनुमंत बल भीमा।
ओ हनुमंत आंजनेय।
हनुमंत आंजनेय।
ओ हनुमंत आंजनेय।
हनुमंत आंजनेय।
ओ प्रभु रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंत आंजनेय।
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 हे पवन पुत्र हनुमंत भल भीमा आंजनेय।
पवन पुत्र हनुमंत बल भीमा आंजनेय।
हे पवन पुत्र हनुमंत भल भीमा आंजनेय।
पवन पुत्र हनुमंत बल भीमा आंजनेय।
ओ भल भीमा आंजनेय।
बल भीमा आंजनेय।
ओ भल भीमा आंजनेय।
बल भीमा आंजनेय।
सबो प्रभु रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंत आंजनेय।
प्रभु रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंत आंजनेय।
ओ प्रभु रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंत आंजनेय।
प्रभु रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंत आंजनेय।
ओ हे पवन पुत्र हनुमंत बल भीमा आंजनेय।
पवन पुत्र हनुमंत बल भीमा आंजनेय।
ओ हे पवन पुत्र हनुमंत भल भीमा आंजनेय।
पवन पुत्र हनुमंत बल भीमा
बल भीमांजनेय